Last time, on the adventures of Simba-kun.
Simba-kun, what is it you needed to talk to me about?
Senjogahara-senpai, the truth is, I've loved you for a long time. Please, go out with me.
I'm sorry, but I could never go out with you.
But why?
Well, the truth is, I don't date Nick.
Woo! Alright guys, I'm LeeTSimba, and I'm not heartbroken, you're heartbroken. Let's get into it. I've seen a lot of anime over time, some of it dubbed, but most of it subbed. I've been watching for maybe 15 years, it's been quite some time. And throughout these years, I've seen anime subtitled in many different ways, multiple different fan subbing people, Netflix, Crunchyroll, Funimation, Amazon Prime, there's just been a lot of different ways. And subtitling, it's more of an art than an exact science, but I'm trying to see, is there a perfect way to subtitle anime? Realistically speaking, this will never happen. I doubt everyone would be like, wow, yes, of course, yes, we'll do this. Absolutely, and only this. But I still think it's a fun idea to explore, so I've tried to explain as well I can. And if you disagree or you think this would be a better way to subtitle all anime, that's fine. Me being into anime for as long as I have been, I'm not trying to make this just to, say, fan subbing was the best and, back in my day it was better and none of that, because I want people to get into anime more, because, anime is more popular than it's ever been. So I'm trying to make it so the old anime fans will be I like this, but also new anime fans could follow along and not be completely confused by all this weebery. Before we continue, I just want to ask you to hit the like button, much appreciated. You guys have been showing me a lot of support. I've got a lot of new subs, and if I get to 1,000 subs, that'd be great. So please hit that like button, much appreciated. Thank you. I wanted to get this video out before I hit 1,000 subscribers, but I did not edit fast enough, and I just want to say thank you for the support and believing in me, and I got more anime content on the way. Thanks. The first thing we need to cover is fonts and subtitle placement. It's very basic, but we got to figure out what is the font that anime should use and some other stuff about subtitles. In terms of font, I think MS Trebuchet, it's a font you've probably seen a lot because Crunchyroll uses it a lot, and if you don't use Crunchyroll, the pirate sites, they'll take it off of Crunchyroll and use it. It's good, I'm used to it, I think most of us are, and I think we should use it with a bold outline. I know there's other fonts too, it doesn't matter too much just as long as it's not something stupid or hard to read like this, but I think this is the way to go. The problem is with different platforms that I think only really Crunchyroll uses this. I made a video about how it's not too late to get into One Piece. But I may have been lying, because to be honest, if you didn't watch One Piece with the green subtitles, are you really a One Piece fan? I don't think you are, to be honest. The One Piece fan subs with the color coordinated tag I think are mad cool. I'm not saying we need to bring this to other anime, I'm just saying this is the only way to subtitle One Piece. Most of the other text effects and fan subbing aren't worth carrying over to official translations. I just had to say that if any text effects from fan subbing deserve to be official, it is these One Piece subtitles. I heavily doubt that official translators think so, but oh well, we can dream. Netflix is actually pretty good with their subtitles, even for anime, but there's only a few issues. They use white text with the drop shadow on Netflix, and I feel that's fine. It's still pretty good. Honestly, most anime I use it for, it's completely fine. I don't have the issue, I never boycott watching anime on Netflix. I saw B-stars on it, number stuff, it's good. But the issue is when backgrounds are become white or white at the bottom, it becomes a little bit harder to read. I'm realizing this is maybe a little bit too yellow, but that's the issue with the drop shadows. As opposed to bolder stroke, I'm just gonna call it bold, but you know what I mean, the heavy black outlines. Also, the other problem in Netflix is, I know it's not watching Great Pretender. Anytime a Japanese person will speak English, the subtitle disappear. Notice I said English and not English, because these Japanese people don't know how to talk, man. There's fonts which I first saw used by Amazon Prime, and I think Funimation uses them as well. It's a transparent gray background and with just white text over, and I used to hate these subtitles when I see it. Back when there's that whole anime strike debate a few years, if you guys remember that, people were hated these subtitles, and I did too, but I saw a few shows with them on Amazon Prime, and I realized they're not bad. They're just unusual to the normal anime watcher, so most of the anime community just doesn't like them. Even now, I think they're okay, but my issue isn't necessarily the subtitles, it's how they're used. For Amazon, I watched Banana Fish and I watched Wotakoi. With Banana Fish, it was fine. A few episodes in, I completely forgot that I cared about subtitles at all. It worked because that's, in action, it's a drama. But Wotakoi is a comedy. There's a lot of visual humor and there's a lot of Japanese text on screen. And if you realize how they use the fonts at Amazon, they use them in such a boring way. You're always at the top or at the bottom, where we'd have two signs here and then the text is only at the bottom, and it's you gotta look up, down, left, or right, just because it's just not natural, frankly. So I think that's the main problem with Amazon. Like, I know you could switch it so it's, you know, yellow with like black and all this stuff, but like there's no like bold option for it. So I think Amazon Subtitles have to make a major change. As for Funimation, they're decent because, you know, you can have bold on their subtitles. I think that's fine. Frankly, I think my issue with them is just their subtitle placement as well. Almost any white text with a black bold around it I think works good, but the problem is the way they place things, it's always like at the bottom or at the top. Like, you know, in this section here, all the text that you see here, it's just placed at the bottom, and I think it would be a lot better if it was right by there, but like it's not. You can see signs on the wall and then the text in English written so we know what it is, and I think that's good because we want to make the experience as similar for like a Japanese person watching their Japanese anime as it is for us. Like, you don't want to distract too much with the subtitles. Our English subtitles right by the Japanese text on that part of the screen, it distracts a lot less. So that's why I like how Crunchyroll's doing things, and I feel like Funimation and Prime, they need to step the game up. In situations when more than one person's talking at the same time, subtitles tend to get messy. In a scenario where someone is the focus of the scene or in the foreground talking, I think their subtitles should go on the bottom. If we hear other characters in that scene talking in the background, but they're not the focus or not talk we're supposed to listen to, then their subtitles should go at the top of the screen. In a situation where two characters are in the foreground but talking at the same time, we should put both their subtitles at the bottom of the screen, but because it could be confusing to see up to 4 lines of the same colored text said by 2 characters in the same part of the screen, we should change the color of the outline for one of the characters' dialogue so it's more visually clear that it's being said by 2 people and where the dialogue starts and ends. A dark blue outline will be fine for the second person's text. The next big point is Japanese to English translation. The art of actually making Japanese understandable to English. I mean, like, a perfect translation is more accurate to what the original source was, but I think like it's more so this importance to get along the main message. Like, if you've seen like the rap battle in Zombieland Saga, if you read the subtitles are rhyming, but the sound of the rhyme, it's not the same as the words that the girls are actually saying. And I feel like that's fine. They, you know, it's a rap. It's basically, I mean, I don't know Japanese like that. I mean, I'm a stage 4 otaku, so, you know, I be knowing some Japanese here and there. I can count from 1 to 100, but it's like, I have to assume that like roughly the essence of the scene is still the same, even though some of the words change and like, so it still rhymes. So I think that's fine. Because, you know, in Japan, it's very common to say Oni-chan or Oni-sama or One-san. And for those who don't know, that means like big brother or big sister. And people like big brother, it's very common. But subtitles will just change it for them to say the person's name. They didn't say their name. I heard them say big brother. Just put big brother. If you don't want to put Oni-chan, that's fine. Just put big brother. I think a direct translation in most scenarios is the way to go when it comes to translating. But the most important thing is that meaning of the words said still translates to English, even if it's not a direct translation of the words used in Japanese. Some people were mad that Crunchyroll used sus in the official subtitles for the Nagatoro anime, and they were mad because they don't have lives. I have no other theory why. Like, how are you this bored? You know, people said sus before Among Us, right? Like, not everything's a meme. I just can't, man. There are legitimate concerns with official translations changing dialogue to push political agendas or certain narratives, or just being trash, but this is not one of them. I mean, as long as we have a good understanding of what that scene is, a little changes here and there is fine, because this is the most artistic part of it all, just translating English to Japanese. Also, if people say like, Oni-sama, like, we can just translate that to like honorable big brother, with everything, I mean, isn't that kind of extra? Well, yeah, I think if you call your older brother Oni-sama, you're probably rich or royalty or you are extra. Screw you. This is the big one. Japanese honorifics. And this is the subject I'm literally the most torn about because I mean, I'm gonna tell you what I think, but the truth of the situation is I don't know. Japanese honorifics are suffixes attached to the end of names that are gender specific or show the relationship between the speaker and the referred individual. You know, your sans, your chans, your kuns, your samas, your senpai. I think we need honorifics in most of the anime we watch. They're not always necessary in dialogue in anime, but often it's a point of like, oh my god, he just called them their first name without their honorific? Like, it's like a thing that's literally brought up, and I feel like, I mean, it is important. Because depending on the honorific someone uses with someone, you can kind of understand their relationship. Like, it's subtext to the scene that's going on. Like, who doesn't know what senpai means? It's like, it's a meme now, like, we know. Like, I don't know, like the other ones, like san, chan, kun, sama, like, with just a very quick explanation, people like know where they start to pick up what it means. New anime fans may not get this, but it's annoying to hear a honorific then see the subtitle replace it with something else. Like in My Hero Academia, when Bakugo's talking to the meatball guy and then he calls him sir, but I hear him say senpai, I'm like, just fucking put senpai. We all know what it means, just put senpai. Because anime isn't just watching another series in another language, it's like watching anime. Like, there's a whole culture around it. And I feel like if we don't want to use them, I think the best things are probably fantasy settings, because like, I don't think that honorifics matter in fantasy setting, more so in a Japanese setting. I mean, you're still gonna hear like your chans and your sans and your sounds, but like I haven't heard it like ever been referred to like what? Just calling me San like that, or did you just use my first name? I have not seen that in a fantasy setting yet. I could be wrong, but I just haven't seen it. Like, you know, in those type of shows, I don't mind them not using honorifics, but I feel like in general, it's still good, which is like an older anime thing that the newer ones, they're not gonna vibe with immediately, but like I think they will come around. And honestly, if this is only on something like Crunchyroll or Funimation, that's fine, because their demographic, it's just entirely anime fans. As opposed to Netflix, where some people may watch anime, but that's not their main demographic. So in the conclusion of that point, I think we should keep honorifics, but like we don't always have to use them because they're necessary. Just mostly in anime that's Japanese in setting. Alright, moving on from a blast from the past, we have translator notes. You know, translator notes are these notes that help bridge the gap between like English and Japanese. Cause you know, like Japan has a different culture from like the rest of the world, especially for us in the West. So like there may just be some things that subtitles just won't get across because they reference something that's like so Japanese. They'll be like, what is that? And the translator note will be like, oh, that's what this is. And honestly, like I think they've only ever really been around in fan subbing. And you know, real talk, you know that meme, all according to Keikaku, that should have never existed ever, because Keikaku just means plan in Japanese. There's no point to put all according to Keikaku, then at the top being like Keikaku means plans, then just say plan then. As a general rule, translator notes should never be used to translate a word that already has an English counterpart. I used to watch a lot of Prince of Tennis fan sub, and this one guy, his whole thing was Gecko Yujo. Like he'd say it a lot, and like Gecko Yujo, it doesn't have an English translation word. Like if you try really hard, you can say something, but it's not the same thing. So I think we can just put the translator note that says what Gecko Yujo means. So I feel like, you know, you're learning a little bit, and I know people aren't watching anime because they want to learn about Japanese culture. I mean, they can a bit, but it's kind of ass backwards because anime's mad wild. But I think like if we can just have a few translator notes in to explain some stuff, it'll be fine. Also, with most sites, when you watch, the subtitles aren't hard-coded into the video. So if you want to say certain subtitles on and off, you can. So I think we can do the same thing with translator notes. Translator notes on and off, just because people who care can watch them, and people who don't care, they don't have to. I think it's perfect. There's an episode of Jujutsu Kaisen called Jujutsu Koshien, and that's a reference to Koshien Stadium in baseball, which most of you don't know unless you're baseball fans or you read Ace of Diamond or Major. But here's the thing though, now that you know that Jujutsu Koshien that's a reference to baseball, do you care? Does that improve your enjoyment of the show at all? Probably not even a little bit. And I think that's why we don't need translate notes to be as big as they were now, because I don't know, I think with some food we don't necessarily need the notes anymore. It's just like not everything is important. Like if someone says a joke and because someone said, they said, oh, I thought you said this word. No, I said this word. We don't need the translate notes saying, well, actually this word is this word in Japanese and this word is this word, so they kind of sound similar. Like that's not important. Like we can just have the people subtitling it replace it with something else. I think that's fine.
You want me to help you have anal sex?
No, I said I want you to help me take a look at these data sets.
Oh, sure. Hey, sure you don't want to have anal sex?
So we don't need translate notes to come back as big as they were before, but I do think, I don't know, they were cool. Like, come on, Nakama, who does it? If you watch One Piece, you know it was Nakama because of like fan stuff. Like, I think it's cool, and it doesn't have to be put into a way that alienates new people or makes it a lot of work to get the subtitles. I think it's still gonna be good. Hashtag bring back translator notes. I remember, it was translator's notes. Alright, we're on top. I'm not sure if you guys saw it coming, but it's the anime OP and ending lyrics, because frankly, I think that we need subtitles, you know, at the bottom, and these subtitles for like the anime opening, it's gonna say what the words mean, but you know, at the top, I think we should have the pronunciation of those words so you can sing along. Like, that's how I was able to learn some stuff, like, you know, that One Piece joint, it's like, Anna was Orani to Dokumade, I believe it's a tuna, I should tie. Yeah. I forget what I was saying, but you know, like I like watching the fans of that because you know I love that song. I was able to sing along because sometimes you know like those anime openings and you're like yo this is a bop, but like you only know the 5 English words there. I feel like, I mean, if we do this now, you can know what the words means if you care, and now you're gonna know how to sing along to it. Like I brought up Zombieland Saga earlier, you know, that rap scene of how you know, like the girls were rapping and their subtitles kind of saying what they're saying. But I feel like if we could also have the words along singing, like, you know, I think that'd be kind of dope. But I don't know, that was just a rap scene. I feel like the opening and the ending, I feel like that should be it'll be a good thing to learn. Also, fan something they used to like to do it in like karaoke a lot of the times. I feel like, I mean, that's fine, maybe because it's the ending or opening, it's not as important. So if they want to try cool karaoke things, like, that's cool. But honestly, I think just the plain subtitles will be enough for me. I think that would still be cool. And I used to see it a lot more, but now it's like I rather don't see opening subtitled at all, or they're only subtitled in English. You know, the more I go over this, the more I realize, like, maybe I want to change a thing here or there, because at the end of the day, subtitling, it's an art. I don't want to say it's an objective opinion, it's just my opinion, because they appeal to me, and I think they still contain the integrity of what early anime subtitling was. Anime fans will like it, but also, like, new people, it's not too hard for them to get into. You know, you can maybe learn a thing or two. I know some people like to romanticize fan subbing, like saying fan subbing was the best, but you know, it depends who did the fan subbing, and like, sometimes it was better or not. But right now, because of simulcasting, the pirate sites don't even push fan subbing that much anymore. So most of the anime you watch, it's probably the officially translated version. All I got to say, if you made this far, I'd appreciate if you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. Hit the like button, share this video with everybody you know. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.